Because I'm the one that gets in trouble, ultimately. That's the problem.
True.
Welcome to the Vault. Old footage, newly edited, just for you.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name is Dutch.
My name is Jules.
Penitent man, Dylan, the Pius V.
Why are you going backwards?
The Pius
Started
V.
with the sixth. Now here's the fifth.
These
Benjamin
episodes
Button.
don't have continuity, remember. All right, guys. Well, welcome to yet another episode of our Ultimate Spirits Competition, our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet and subject it to our crazy hard 100-point scoring system. And in this episode... What is this black box, guys?
Oldie
it says
but goodie.
MacAllan
Is that
on
an
it.
independent bottler?
Craft distillery.
We're finally doing it. We're going to review MacAllan 12 Sherry Oak. I think we reviewed the double oak
Sherry.
way back when.
I believe so.
I have no idea what
Early on.
Yeah, I have no idea what we scored it. But we've never done the Sherry Oak, kind of the flagship level of MacAllan. Of course, the youngest age statement. I guess, they do have non-age stated releases, but of the age stated stuff, let's take a look at the bottle, get rid of the box. Great looking bottle. I've always loved
It's sexy.
the MacAllan bottle. It's elegant. It's got that kind of
It's
pressed
that badge
design.
vest thing.
Yeah, it's just a good looking bottle. Sherry Oak. So matured exclusively in hand-picked sherry seasoned oak casks from Jerez, Spain, for richness and complexity. So the back looks like there's a lot of literature back there. You can pause the video and read it if you want. Time's up. I'm going to get us poured. Dylan, talk to us about this.
Yeah, we should. I think we could sit here and talk about the MacAllan for a very, very long time. And the reason for that is there are many layers to this distillery and its releases. Number one, let's talk about the hate, right?
Well,
there's this. I feel like there's actually a love-hate relationship. Like, there's no connoisseur that will say that this is horrible,
right.
but they will say that while good, it doesn't justify most of the pricing.
Yeah.
Right.
Most of the hate is around the price. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, I don't think, yes, there are some releases that are not great, and some of these releases that are designed to be commodities rather than something that people should be drinking. Those things are really annoying. And so nobody can gauge the technical prowess of, let's say, a 55-year-old MacAllan, right? And, I think there's a lot of issues with that, because then that taints your analysis of the liquor that's inside.
So are you saying then that the whiskey investors are schmucks? Your words.
I didn't say anything.
That's what I heard.
But the question is, can it stand up to the Ultimate Spirits competition, which takes into account things like value?
Yeah. And
I think this is really important for us to look at, because this is obviously an iconic legacy distillery. And some could argue that many companies have been chasing the MacAllan in many different ways. If you look at highly coveted old whiskeys, the MacAllan releases are always up there, right? And they fetch some of the highest prices. So then why is that? Is that warranted in terms of what's inside? Because for us, we care about what's inside.
Who cares about the story?
And the thought is, they got this reputation a long time ago that they were able to procure kind of the best Spanish sherry casks, American casks, and arguably, this is the part that's a little bit tricky. Is the barley better? I don't know. I personally don't believe that, but I do believe there was a sherry issue, and the kinds of sherry casks that they were getting was different than some of these other distilleries. So we'll see if it lives up to the reputation. Full disclosure, I do enjoy
You're a fanboy.
MacAllan.
You're a fanboy.
But again, I never started with MacAllan. As you know, I started with Highland Park. And so humble beginnings. But, I do have
Highland Park 30.
I have tried the MacAllan 30 year. And so...
You started with it.
He was weaned with it, actually.
yeah, so let's try it.
He's not denying it.
He's not denying it. All right, let's get into it.
There's that, it is distinct, right? And
MacAllan.
I don't like it when people just kind of group all sherry together and they say, well, I've had better sherry Bob.
Yeah, but I mean, like an exclusively sherry aged like this, you do get a distinct. You get a distinct.
I mean, even with the seasoned barrels, they have this little profile where you get that date
Yeah.
and the prune component.
Yeah. We'll save it for discussion.
I forgot where.
I agree with you, though. All right, guys, we've had some time to taste. We've all scored it independently. We haven't discussed our scores. I just saw Jules's, but that's okay because he doesn't hide it. We're going to discuss them. We're going to discuss every single category. We'll tell you our preliminary score. Of course, things change as we discuss it. It might go up, might go down. We never know. Jules first is going to tell you guys all about our scoring system. Go.
Okay.
In 5 seconds.
We had 5, 4, 3.
You already won. Oh my gosh.
100 points across 10 categories that include aroma, flavor, body complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. However, we flavor at 20 points and aesthetics and value at 5 points each. You can bet on our competition. You get a 16 up, go from bronze, silver, gold to diamond.
My initial score... 78.
76.
76.
No.
Can I throw something out here?
All right.
Do you guys want to know what you scored the double oak that we reviewed previously?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Well, should we do it now or?
I don't know.
'Cause You already
No,
know?
yeah.
Oh, do you already know? You looked it up?
I mean, I have it ready.
Okay. Let's do it at the
let's
end
do it at
because
the
this
end.
can adjust.
Yeah,
The end?
let's do it at the
Okay.
end. Yeah.
We'll do it in. We'll do it in. All right. This is going to be really interesting.
That's good. Oh, shoot.
I did look.
Oh, shoot.
It didn't change my score, really. But all right. Well, let's kick things off with
Cheated.
aroma. No, I said it didn't change my score. 8.
It just validated his
I
score.
cheated.
I give it an 8.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah. This is probably like the best thing about it.
I don't agree with that, but I think it's delicious. Prune juice, dates, and prunes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's
Give 'em the
it's
shine.
not the flavor so much as the depth.
Yeah.
It's so rich on the nose. to me.
Rich. Yeah.
A lot of people when they bring up the MacAllan, they always bring up the Glendronach, right? And Glendronach of the past, because a lot of that date and prune also, you could argue, has been represented in that line as well.
Anything sherry aged.
But
would say.
there is a unique profile here that is different. I mean, full disclosure, I have a lot of bottles of Glendronach. In fact, I will tell you right now, as I was cleaning out the garage, I feel bad to say how many bottles I have.
You got to do it.
I have 12 bottles of Glendronach 21 year.
It's a great bottle. I understand
So
why.
I obviously I am a fan, but I will say, this provides, and obviously this is very different from the 21 year, but the Glendronach 12 and its line is different. It does provide a different flavor and profile.
Yeah, it's like looking at the same flavors from a slightly different angle. Is the way I kind of think of it.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but it's just like a slightly different take.
The way I look at Glendronach is very loud and bold and in my face. MacAllan's never like that. It's always they're always going for some form of balance.
I get a surprising amount of the barrel of the oak on this, actually. Like for a 12-year-old, like it's really there. Like it's very well balanced. It's very well integrated to all the other flavors, and I don't feel like I get that on the Glendronach.
And I'm gonna share.
I would say the difference.
I want to get to the flavor because, I like what you just said, but I want to explain how I got there with these types of releases. So,
all right, well, let's go to flavor. 17.
I give it a 17.
17.
Yeah. I'm on the verge of an 18 in a lot of ways, but ultimately it's just kind of the singular focus on the sherry that leaves it at 17. It's very well executed, but it's just it's almost too focused.
Yeah. Super laser focused on it. I agree with you. Like, I wish a little bit more was presented, especially like fruit
Or some spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So I want to share something
not
because
even a hint.
when I think
But it's so
back,
deep on that one
Yeah,
thing
on
that
the one
you
thing.
have to give it the points.
There's so much. Yeah, there's so much going on.
When I
with
think back and I say, I've been drinking these kind of things for 25 years, right? And I try to figure out how did I learn the things that I learned. And in this situation, I wrote that, yes, you can compare this with other very sherry forward releases, but I learned the most when I started drinking independent bottles of this distillery.
Yeah.
Because what I realized was, in order for me to understand this profile, I had to understand the off-profile releases. And what I wrote here is, we are sometimes judged by the company you keep, but we also need to know those that you don't associate with. Right? No, but like the things that you don't associate with, right?
Well, but hang on, I would also throw this out at you. Is like there are amazing secondary bottlings of
For sure.
at cask strength, where you get all this and then you get it at cask strength, and you're like, holy crap, I understand.
But you know why it's off profile though.
Some of those
right?
know though.
It's delicious.
Some
It's
of them
delicious.
fall in line with that profile.
No, I would argue
Like the Spey malt stuff. It's pretty.
you and I had a 47-year-old, right?
Some of those are pretty on profile.
Okay, and it was amazing. However, it is not a 47-year-old MacAllan release. MacAllan 30-year, younger,
I haven't had that, so
Had-
I'll defer.
I think has much more rich, more balanced approach. And so that's why I always find that the independent bottling of MacAllan, where they can't disclose the distillery and they say, this comes
Spey
from,
malt. Spey malt,
this distillery M, wink, 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 right?
Oh, but those are so good. I have a couple of those.
know,
and I
it's-
love them.
I have them as well, but I'm just saying, when I drink that and I go, oh, I see what MacAllan's trying to do. I see where
Yeah, but
if they had
this is
released
one
something
of those
like
things
this,
is
it
like-
was something weird.
I like that signatory, for instance, more than this. I would give that an 18 or a
but
19.
that one is at cask strength, and that's
I know. But judging the bottle for what the bottle is, like, it's better than this.
But this one has. This is what they feel is a good representation of their craftsmanship.
What is the flavor? What are you getting on your palate, ultimately?
I'm just saying it's unique.
This isn't uniqueness.
No, but the flavor is unique, and that's how I learned how to
we all agree.
judge
We
this.
agree.
Yeah.
We all agree. It's really good. But it's still a 17. I think for all those reasons. Like, there's
I would
room
say-
here for the 18 and the higher age
I
stuff.
would say
30.
for our viewers, if you have a chance to try the Distillery M independent bottling
Give them a
of,
try.
of this, give it a
They're
try.
incredibly good.
Because number one, you're going to say, wow, this is really great.
Most
The
of
sherry's amazing.
Yeah.
But then start thinking, like think about the minutia, think about like the aromas and say, well, how does this compare? And then you learn more about
Those are my Christmas pours. Like the 20-something-year-old Spey malts and Distillery M signatories.
Signatory.
Like, to me, that time of year, that flavor profile, they've got a lot more heat than this. They've got a lot more impact than this.
it's
Just because of the
delicious.
proof, like it's really something special. So, all right, guys, let's move on to body 8.
You give it a 7.
I had an 8, but I brought it down to 7.
I had a 7. I went up to an 8.
Oh.
The more I've sipped this, I really think
Yeah, you're right. It is not a 7. Yeah, you're right.
it's pretty luxurious. You know, like
It is. Yeah.
anything you go even a microfraction higher than this, and you might even be at an 9. Like it's the flavors are all there. It coats your entire palate. It's really nice.
There's heft.
There's heft.
There's always heft.
See, that's the part that's missing. I get a nice velvety coating. I don't get the heft. It's not there. I get the velvety coating, and that's what I mean. Like, so I'm getting a nice coating, but it's just the heft is not there for me. So that's why it's a 7.
Yeah.
Because come on, you're gonna get more heft
On the
out
15,
of-
the 18.
Exactly, especially the 18. The 18 is what I have in mind.
Are you
averages
gonna do? Are you though?
Yeah.
I think you're going to get more finish on that. I don't know that the heft is going to be that much different.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I
think
just
so.
remember it
I
also
don't
being.
think heft is high.
I feel like it was, from what I recall anyway, oilier than this.
Maybe. So you're just leaving room?
Yeah.
You're not actually
That
really
heft
judging
is in
this
there.
one?
Oh, yeah.
And like sometimes
heft is
the
missing.
criticism of the criticism of like the rare cask, right, which is around the $300 range,
yeah.
and then if you
We have one over there. 17.
oh, okay, well, so then or the I mean, what's equivalent in the MacAllan range? Probably like maybe on sale MacAllan 18 or MacAllan Double, right? That's around that 350 to 400 range, and
Well, you got that one for a lot cheaper.
oh right,
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
the rare cask. One of the criticism is that the body is not as great, even though the flavor profile is unique. So I like my
I think it's
8.
good. I mean, it's maybe a little bit of a soft 8. I will agree with that.
Soft
but,
8.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, let's move on to complexity 8.
I give it a 7.
I gave it a soft 8.
Yeah, I would
give
agree.
it a soft
Again,
8.
soft on the 8. It's a little bit too good to be just a 7 in my mind. I feel like that's what I keep coming back
That's
to.
why
It's just
I
like,
bumped it up.
it's like there's, it's this.
It's sherry depth.
The scope is here, and I'm like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just it's more. It's elevated. It's the richness. It's the depth of those flavors that it's almost like, yes, there are not that many flavors, but the flavors are so deep that singular flavor becomes so complex in and of itself. You know, it's like it's not
I
just.
just
a
feel like I
banana.
needed another thing. Like, just give me
I hear you.
spice
I
note
understand you.
And, like...
But it's honestly, it's like depth complexity versus breadth complexity for me, which is
I get that.
100% agree.
yeah.
I get it.
I had to give it the points for that. All right, guys, balance 8.
I give it a 7.
I gave it a 7.
What's out?
So for me, I thought so this again bleeds into the finish. It's just the ethanol and the young flavors
You're
that
getting
is
ethanol on this?
slightly off. Yeah, it's just slightly off. And that
I don't know. For me,
To
it
me-
literally was just because the sherry is so great. That's all I was getting. I mean, and so it's like it's imbalanced. It's all sherry.
I just feel like this
the thing
is not.
I sip it and nothing feels out of whack.
Yeah, so it's
I
a
just
good
want
number.
more.
I think just you're right. It doesn't feel out of whack, but I feel like it's missing. Like there's things missing.
I would chalk that up to complexity, not balance, though.
I chalk it up to both.
That doesn't make any sense.
For me, it's more of the ethanol, the young
I'm not getting
flavors
the
that come
ethanol,
through.
but-
It's the young flavors that come through.
I don't even get that. Like, I don't know. Like, I just
To
young
me, that
flavors.
comes in the
It really
mid palate.
works.
It's kind of interesting because the finish actually is not bad.
Yeah,
That's the part I like.
I agree.
But there's this mid palate where they like this thing lingers.
I'll admit it's a soft 8. I'll admit I mean, I did have a 7 originally. You can see there. I did go up to an 8. But I think it's just because the depth in the prune date realm is so great that, like, how do you account for that? You know, we usually incorporate that into flavor.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like you could say, okay, here's a banana, but here's a plantain, and here's like a green banana, and all these other things that they just add to the depth of that flavor profile. And I feel like with the date and the prune flavor profile, like MacAllan just has that incomparable depth to it.
Right.
That yes, you get a lot of that with Glendronach, but it's from a slightly different angle.
So the complexity in the MacAllan is more like
It's a depth-
variations of the
It's
theme.
a depth versus breadth.
But there are variations of the same theme, but they're distinct enough that you can pick it out.
Yeah.
That you can say you have a banana, a plantain.
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know,
I can tell the
fried
difference
banana.
between the date and the prune here.
Right.
And the other maybe
And
red
it's very
fruits
distinct.
that are in there. Yeah.
And I love, I would always say, for me, I guess, and maybe growing up with this type of food, but like
Otter
jujube,
Pops?
like
Oh.
jujube, like those kinds
Otter
of
Pops.
that flavor,
Yeah.
like biting into that.
Yeah.
Grape Autobahn.
So it's an 8, right?
The balance? No, I gave it a
It's a
7.
7.
Couldn't convince you to go up. Jeez. All right. That was balanced, right? Yeah. So finish 8.
I give it an 8.
I gave it a strong 7, but I could be convinced to go up. I mean,
This
it
was
is-
nice.
It's
It's had a
really
nice
nice.
medium
The
length.
All right,
So that alone, and then the sherry is there on the finish.
Yeah, honestly, like, the only thing that was keeping me from like a 9 or a 10 was duration could have been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then that slightest...
It's mid for sure, though.
Slightest tannic, woody thing at the very, very end. But like it almost was like inviting me for another sip, you know, where it's like... It wasn't enough to be off-putting. It was like enough to be like, oh, wait, I want to wet my palate again. Like I want another sip of that. So I agree 8. Did you go up?
Yeah.
So you're at 8 also. So we agree. Unanimity.
Yeah. Unanimity.
Just for MacAllan. All right, guys. Uniqueness. 7.
7.
I struggled a lot with this.
I kind of did too.
I ended up with a 7, but I do want to qualify that a little bit because...
It's because it is the MacAllan.
Well, no. Yeah,
you know,
but
it's like, it's called
because it's the MacAllan.
for me, though,
How
like,
unique can it be?
setting all of that aside, my personal experience has been drinking all these crazy and you know, I've had the privilege of drinking all kinds of ages of these dram, but sometimes I say, okay, is there something that I can replace the MacAllan with? Right? And for me, the big one that I have on my shelf is the MacAllan 18 Sherry. Okay? And sometimes I crave it and I drink it and I say, if I didn't have this bottle, with my vast collection, would I be able to replace it with something? And I have not. Even with all of the independent bottles, even with all of these like highly aged whiskeys that I have, sometimes I have to go back to the MacAllan 18s. And so that to me is unique, but why did I give it a 7? I think in this situation, it's within the MacAllan where I find that the 12-year is not as unique or interesting. I think when you get into the higher aged ones, I don't even...
So are we just giving it room, basically?
I don't...
Because I kind of feel that way.
I do.
I feel like in the breadth of all the scotch I've had, like...
The people who I don't understand, you know, like when they had remember like the 6 range, they had that every year. This edition ones, and I was like, I never liked those.
I liked them.
Really,
they were delicious.
It was okay. You know, like all the new ones, the night ones.
Yeah, those I don't as much. The edition ones I felt were a little bit better, but like,
and then the cacao stuff. I mean, like, you know, this is like, but
gimmicky, right? This is not
really
gimmicky. This is their baseline.
I mean, those are arguably more unique.
Yeah.
They may not score as well in the flavors.
It's a strong 7. I mean, I think you could convince me to go up on this potentially. I don't think I'd ever go down.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you taste this, you're just like, it's like a really good execution of something familiar. Which is why it's like not super unique. It's just like they did a good job. It's like it's so well done. Yeah. Speaking of which, let's move on to drinkability 9.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
I did.
I could... Yeah. We could kill this.
I give it an 8, but
no.
You're right. You guys are right. Like, it's a 9.
You know what?
It was a strong.
If we were not filming today and we were just hanging out, we had dinner, we had a cigar, we would finish this bottle tonight.
Yeah, no, you're right. We would.
It is super drinkable.
Yeah. This is good. It's good.
I like this. Also, it does pair. I paired this.
It stands up to a lot.
Yeah.
With pear?
43%. Okay, guys, we're done with flavors.
Like Korean pear.
Let's talk about the non-flavor components. I guess I'll leave that in.
Not biting.
Aesthetics. 4.
Give it a 4.
I do want to take that time to mention the cork, right? So, you know, if people are wondering, why it looks really
HD
weird, though, right? You see that part right here? So when you buy it, there's no gap. But as soon as you open it, you can't put it together. And the reason, and then there's a QR code and there's like a hologram. The reason is, of course, because there are so many counterfeits, right?
Yeah.
This was, I think, keep that in there. I think late 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, it was like out of control.
Yeah.
And because, again, it was traded as a commodity. But I like it. In fact, I like the fact that I give it the 4 because they have the security.
Everything about this security.
I wish bourbon would do this.
I'm honestly like on the verge of a 5, but this is plastic. And like I leave room for the elevated versions of it where maybe it's just a little bit nicer, like
so much nicer.
it's a very, very strong 4. I have to think almost a 5 because I love the shape of this bottle too. Like it's so subtle, but it's like Nike subtle. It's like it's just like design perfection.
It's like streamlined design. Yeah,
I hate that.
I left a 15-year double cask at my family's house. I didn't get to attend the party, and the next day it was like, where is it? It's gone.
Makes sense. Nice. All right, guys. Final category. Value. 1.
I give it a 3.
I gave it a 2.
So $85 for a 12
I don't think it's a 3. I don't think it's a 3.
$85 for a 12.
I could see the 1.
There is no other 12-year that costs this much.
But it's the brand.
Yeah. Next to a Glendronach. Yes, maybe to some people it's better.
Yeah.
It's not significantly better.
I mean,
it's not the price point difference better.
No, yeah, you're right.
It's definitely not a 3. I see your 1. I gave it a 2.
I give it a 2.
I gave it a 2 because, again, factoring in...
It's 85, though.
Factoring in the fact that, really, with this
everywhere.
sherry profile...
Dude,
right now,
MacAllan is
availability...
so high above everything else at the age statement. It can't be anything other than a 1 to me. Like, it's so much higher.
So much higher. You're right.
Think about it. 12-year-old Scotch, you've got Glenlivets at $30.
Maybe even a 0.
You've got Johnny Walker's in the $20 range. Like, this is 80. Yes, it's very good. And it might be one of the best, deepest, richest flavors for a 12-year, but it doesn't justify, like, a 4X on the market price or a 3X.
Yeah, no, you're right. Drop it to
maybe
$90. $90.
Dude, he's right. It's a 1.
I mean, Costco, I saw it for like 85.
80.
So I'm gonna counter that. I'm gonna
85.
counter that and say, what about Japanese whiskeys?
I don't think that helps your
Yamazaki.
I think those are
cost $200.
I think
those are zeros, man. At this point,
he's right on this one, though.
I mean, I understand the 2, but
it's a 1.
You went all the way to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right. It's a 1.
All right.
I can't give
you
it
are
any-
right.
He's right.
You are right.
It doesn't deserve any points for value.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Just 1.
Let's be harsh on this one.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got to be a 1.
So let's get our final tally. Or do you guys want to know?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get our final tallies.
Yeah.
And before
final
I
tally.
reveal the final score, we'll
And
see.
reveal the final tally.
As we go?
For the other
countdown?
No, for the... Yeah.
So I ended up 78.
75.
Ooh.
77.
Ooh.
Which gives us our official
What did I get?
76. Yeah, I know.
Curiosity Public score. Should we do the other ones first?
Yeah.
Okay, before we reveal the final score, you can do the math, but all right. Dylan, we'll start with you. What did you give this one?
The sherry cask I gave 77.
What do you think you gave the
Double cask 74.
You gave the double cask 78.
Wow.
Shoot.
I guess I like the double cask more.
Jules, what did you give this one?
I give this one a 75.
You gave the double
You know what
cask.
though? It makes sense. You know what?
Don't
Wait, sorry. What is it? No. What is it? What did you get? Sorry.
What? I give it this one a 75. He hasn't read mine.
Yeah.
You gave the double cask a 72.
Okay.
All right.
I gave this a 78. I gave the double cask a 77.
Okay. So I think this is justified because of the value.
So
It got killed on the value.
double
Right? Because
cask.
the double cask
Double
is
cask
cheaper.
is cheaper.
You can get it for $55.
Yeah, you gave it a 5. on value.
Of value?
Yeah.
$55 for a 12-year MacAllan?
Yeah, we both gave it a 9 on drinkability. You gave it a 7 in the double cask. We all gave it 7s on uniqueness.
I think with the flavor profile.
We all gave it 15s on flavor. So I think
So the flavor here.
I think it was the value. The value is really
value is where I killed it.
the value is really the differentiation there. Anyway, our final score then for the MacAllan 12 Sherry Cask 76.
There's a $30 difference between the double cask and this.
The value makes a lot of sense.
The value totally makes
It really does. Yep. Obviously that's why they're doing that. The double cask and the triple cask.
Yeah.
It's all price.
Yep.
All right, Jules, take us out.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Either way, let us know. Subscribe for more videos from Curiosity Public. If you want to help us out, please consider joining Curiosity Private membership program here on YouTube and Patreon. We're also selling t-shirts. Links in the description. That's another great way to help us out. And we have a podcast on the major platforms. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious. Double cast for Dylan.
Double cast.
Double the fun.
Well, I think that's actually the perfect example of why value matters.
Yeah, it does matter.
Exactly. It still plays in.
Like that was like
Because
a 4-point difference for you.
The score is a reflection.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it a 2, but you knocked me down. But it is a reflection of these numbers as a recommendation.
Yeah. We'll take flavor. We all gave it a 15. We all gave this a 17.
17, yeah.
So there you go.
So
alone.
a flavor alone is better.
Flavor is better, but like that's how price really matters.
Yeah.
'Cause aside from value and flavor, our numbers were not that far.
Yeah, I mean, if the prices were equivocal, I mean, this probably would come
this
out on
should
top.
stand out. Yeah.
But that's the problem, though. That's not the reality.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was very interesting.
Very cool.
Intriguing.
Oh man, Dutch didn't do any of the
Racist stuff.
eye thing.
Why would I do that on this one, dude?
You should do it on every episode.